Good afternoon, everyone. 15th century map. Jerusalem doesn't show electric geology. Reserve currencies versus gold. They always end up as nothing. Central bank gold purchases record high. Taiwan-China trend. Buying gold by the gram. Gold shot. And China's reliance on Iranian oil. That would stop the gold exchange in the BRICS if something were to happen. Speaking of green, stock market surging after the weekend, and the world looking for more liquidity as the entire mechanism's about to break. Thank you. I'll have another trillion per week. Give it to me. And we'll start right here. Jerusalem. Map comes from the middle 1400s. And the topography that I see there, I was like, wait, I have seen that somewhere else. That is electric geology. Perhaps why some of these spots have been chosen for some of the holiest buildings on our planet. The energy resonance. Can you imagine a high voltage discharge from space, what that would do to the specific area where it touched on the crust, upraising, leaving an energetic signature for the ages? Of course that would be harnessed. Manicouagan, Canada, also showing almost similar formation, but it's too inhospitable for people to live. And this lithograph right here, 1660s from Jerusalem. Are we looking at Earth scarring? Thunderbolts Project explaining the topography and geology, and humanity building on top of the strongest of the electric fields left over. Speaking of things from the 1600s to present, let's take a look at the reserve currencies of the world versus gold. We got the Netherlands first. The collapse of the Dutch Empire, sending that to zero. Then we're followed by the great British pound crashing and subsequently near zero. We followed by the USA. And we are literally at the end of a system once again. U.S. national debt, massive increases over this just last 3 weeks. Whereas this continues, we're going to be clipping along at least $1 trillion a month from this point forward. Unsustainable is what that is. Which makes sense why the central bank gold purchaser at record highs in 2022 and 2023. These all-time highs in 2 years in a row. That's pretty self-explanatory. Because gold and the worship and usage of it for divinity stretches back pre-dynastic times, way back to the Sumerians, even further back into prehistory. Lapis, also another stone that has survived the test of time through the ages. Meanwhile, Fortune warns the S&P is heading below 3,000. Two of the biggest stock market crashes happened in October 1929 and Black Monday 1987. Seasonally, we're entering the best 6-month period for gold and silver, along with the Fed nearing the end of their rate hikes. Gold is poised to skyrocket. Call the Patriot Gold Group today before it's too late. When you call them, mention the Adapt 2030 channel. They're going to give you some great in-class service. Patriot Gold Group has the no fee for life IRA, where your IRA or 401k can be in physical gold or silver. And the no fee for life IRA is on qualifying rollovers. Give them a call. 888-546-7020. And now on with the video. And speaking of cycles, Deglobalization, globalization, deglobalization, globalization. Now, when I got this chart out, that it said snowballization at the far right there, but it's slowballization, same, but different, because this is going to continue as world markets dissolve in on themselves unless we find another reason so we can print money endlessly. And I think we've arrived at another one of those times this last weekend. Look how much money is going to be poured in across the planet for movements of XYZ, fill in the blank. You can see where it is going, where it has gone. COVID provided a huge opportunity to re-stimulate the planet without a question being asked why so much money is being printed, why so much money is being thrown around the world. Got to stimulate. Now we're coming into the contraction phase. Once this sweeps the planet and disrupts every single facet of our globalized world, the global mechanization from your delivery, supply chains, base minerals, finished products, agriculture. You're going to watch things skyrocket, become unavailable. Things are going to reshift regionally. That's what I'm saying. This is the snowballization of the slowballization phase that we're in. Does seem kind of quirky that each time the world needs something to help itself just trickle along for another minute or two, it magically arrives. We're here again. You've heard the song, hot, hot, hot. Well, this is going to be gold, gold, gold. Taiwan, China, the rage is gold shot. It's a little too expensive to buy a full 1 ounce for most people across the planet. So these little nuggets of gold right here, otherwise known as gold shot, 1 gram pieces are selling for approximately $100. So it's a great entry point for people to get into actually storing physical metals and using that money instead of in the stock market, which they're already broadcasting. Shrinkage of the stock market, take your money out, put it somewhere else where it's more secure, get gold. And they give you the cute little piggy bank that's clear so you can see your gold shot. At less than $100, that 3,000 yuan is new Taiwan dollars, and they're called the golden dodo, which means little golden bean. So when you see it for sale online here in the US, you're looking at the gold shot. You can find this on any exchange. The term that they're using across Asia right now is golden melon seeds. Dozi, something like this. The first piece of gold. And if that's the encouragement of the youth and those with little money to invest that don't want to go in the stock market, the writing's already on the wall. It doesn't matter if it's pieces of jewelry, part of an earring, a little bit of gold shot, whatever. Broadcasting moves to move over to gold. It is the new as the old system collapses. Well, everybody's going to go kicking and screaming into the night. The U.S. and Western homogeny is not going to let their top position be usurped, tumbled, crumbled, rolling down the mountain off the top of the Tower of Babel. That will not happen. So what's the easiest way to disrupt that? Disrupt the oil supply from Iran to China. That's the easiest way. Right now, Chinese oil refiners brushing off threats to Iranian oil supply, which is around 700,000 barrels per day. Reaching China to get to the refineries. The smaller refineries are called teapots. And also the same thing happening now that the U.S. does not like, especially the COMEX and those in the London Bullion Metals Exchange. China giving anywhere from $100 to $120 to $25 more per ounce in Shanghai than on the gold market and other places in the world. They're draining supply over to China to create a new BRICS gold-backed based one leg of that new currency. And I put this out on Patreon as the video explaining just that. What we're doing here in the video is a sliver of it. If you disrupt that oil from Iran, you stop the global de-dollarization campaign in its tracks. So just follow through with me on the mind experiment here. So Iran gets somehow dragged into this escalation, as you can see everywhere. The oil will stop going to China. Now, the economy in China is so fragile right now. If you think the U.S. economy is fragile, it's far more fragile in China currently. Now, if you were to stop 700,000 barrels a day from going in there and being refined and processed and used to drive that economy, you would collapse the economy. And what would that do? Well, that would stop the Shanghai Gold Exchange and the formation of this new BRICS currency. Now, remember, the gold basket is only going to be just a single leg of a multi-legged centipede moving out to disrupt the dollar. They're going to have different types of commodities. It's not going to be a single exchange based on just gold and that's it for the BRICS currency. It's going to be a basket of energy. Oil will be one of those legs. Natural gas will be one of those legs. Uranium will be another leg. You're going to be looking at any type of commodity, from agricultural commodities to anything dug out of the ground, refined, smelted. Those will all be different legs of the same centipede moving forward. which will be swappable between nations. But it's all going to be reliant on a gold-backed currency first getting formed, at least to have a main pillar for that BRICS-aligned nation trading basket to form off of. Now you already see in Shanghai, they're pulling a lot of the gold into China by offering $120 more. What happens when that turns to $500 or $800 more per ounce? Then Houston, we have a huge problem because they're going to want to take physical delivery, and once nobody wants to play ball with physical delivery, they'll stop writing contracts on those exchanges and move over to a place where they're going to get the physical. That's exactly the plan. The U.S. wants to disrupt that. When I say the U.S., I'm talking about the Western powers here. They want to stop the de-dollarization on a dime, and the way to do it is pull that oil delivery to China, and that will do it, in part, for now. Eventually, someone will find a way around that, but this movement that we're seeing so rapidly right now, first it was 4 countries, then it was 5, then it was 11, then it's now 22. Now it's going to be 40 by the end of the year. This is it. The cornered, hurt animal is nowhere else to go to. That's why we're seeing what's happening right now play out. It's all about who controls the world's money supply. And this is a direct attempt to disrupt that. The big disruption's not here yet. It's Iran. That's the thing they're really going after, to disrupt the rest of the de-dollarization occurring across the planet. Once you see that, everything else you see in motion right now makes a lot more sense. And speaking of oil, we have about 17 days left in the Strategic Petroleum Reserves. That was as of September 22nd, a couple weeks ago. I don't see them refilling now that oil has gone up some $3 to $5 per barrel. I bet that's still draining by the day. I bet we're down to 16 days. Now, speaking of downturn, not a good sign. Citigroup, Bank of America reaching 52-week lows. What does that mean for me and you? Well, a lot of people are pulling the money out going, I'm not going to take 1/4% or 1/10% of interest when I can throw it into a money market and get 5%. Thanks for playing. I'll take my money right now. Because the dollar looks like it may have peaked at its strength. But we'll see where that moves as more contagion rips through the planet. Although there is some benefit for certain companies in the American markets, if you were to look at these types of stocks based on what happened over the weekend, it means we have a mighty large problem across the world. The drums of war swirling, the hurricane of disruption inbound. It's just offshore. Can't you see the lightning strikes and hear the thunder to warn us? Which is what Ransom God and myself are going to talk about tonight, Thursday night, 10 p.m. to midnight on Rumble, the Adapt 2030 channel. Actually, we streamed to quite a few other venues as well. The Mini Ice Age Conversations podcast channel. That's on from Revolution Radio. And if you want to sign up for our show notes, please do. Go to oilseedcrops.org, and right at the top there, you see MIAC Radio Show. Click on that, enter your email. We'll send you the show notes of the topics we discussed so you can start conversations with others through the week. I do appreciate you watching. Hope you got something out of the video. Bye for now.